In the early 20th century, Russia was a massive empire with an intricate spread of cultures, religions, and languages. Among this diversity was the start of Russian nationalism. It had started spreading across the country with its purpose to unite Russia as one. Russian nationalism before World War I was complicated, containing various ideologies and movements. At its core lay a deep sense and pride of Russian identity and a desire for political and cultural unity which would eventually make their country stronger. Religion played a significant role in the shaping of Russian nationalism. The Russian Orthodox Church was not only a spiritual institution but also a symbol of national identity, with the Tsar as its protector. Since the Tsar had so much power in Russia, it was a norm for people of Russia to be regulars in the church. Under the rule of Tsar Nicholas II, the concept of orthodoxy and nationalism became central to Russian culture. The Tsar portrayed himself as a figurehead to Russian values and traditions. However, under the rule of Tsar Nicholas II, not everything was perfect. Widespread dissatisfaction and conflict, which led to the starved protests, were very common. Increased tensions between nations and unstable governments. Often these countries' citizens were not content and a lot of the time fighting against their own country. These issues often highlighted social, political, and economic problems, sparking calls for reform and sometimes leading to changes in government structures and policies. Alongside cultural and religious nationalism, there was also a growing tide of political nationalism. Movements asking for constitutional reform and democratic rights emerged, challenging the Tsaristic regime. This often left the people of Russian Empire, who fought so hard for the country, confused as to what the government or empire was doing to help them. In the year 1848, most of Europe was having Reformation acts, often led by the civilians of the lower class. This was not necessarily the case for Russia, as the government shut these acts down very quickly. So whereas almost everywhere in Europe was getting reformed, Russia's opinions against revolutionary movements earned it a reputation as a conservative power. But size and military strength dominated among neighboring countries and other European nations. As we have learned today, Russian nationalism was not simple at all. It took many, many decades, and although people passed it on through their kids and their grandkids, it did not always get through. People who fought so hard for it often did not get what they wanted. However, it did eventually make an impact in the entire Europe.